policy intended to stabilize India's domestic food prices has dramatically backfired, costing Indian traders an estimated 1,100 crore rupees and, crucially, a decade-old market presence in neighboring Bangladesh. The loss has left farmers in key Indian states in deep distress, with approximately 30,000 tons of onions now rotting at the border. Crisis began when the Indian government imposed a series of export restrictions on onions. While the immediate goal was to curb soaring prices at home, the consequences abroad have been severe. The situation has been further complicated by deteriorating bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh following the July uprising in Bangladesh. Since then, tensions between the two neighboring countries have escalated, with both nations imposing various restrictions on trade and movement across the border. This strained relationship has created an environment where traditional trade patterns have been severely disrupted. Data shows that this year's loss in export revenue is directly linked to the loss of Bangladesh, historically one of India's largest buyers. The country's onion export earnings now sit at 3,100 crore rupees, down significantly from previous years when bilateral trade flowed more freely between the two nations. On the ground, the impact is immediately visible. In the onion heartland of Maharashtra, particularly Nasik and across states like Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat, farmers are struggling to secure fair prices. The domestic market has been completely saturated with their produce, forcing prices down and creating a supply glut that is crushing profit margins. The devastating consequence is visible right now at the border, where thousands of tons of produce are simply rotting away. The crisis is immediate and shocking at Mahadipur-Shona Masjid border crossing in West Bengal. Approximately 30,000 tons of Indian onions are piled up and unable to cross into Bangladesh. Since the import halt began on November 16th, this vital trade corridor has turned into a scene of massive financial ruin. Onions are being sold for a heartbreaking 2 rupees per kilogram, just 100 rupees for an entire 50-kilogram sack. That figure represents a staggering price difference from the Malda city market located just 7 kilometers away, where the same onions fetch up to 22 rupees per kilogram. The Malda district in West Bengal shares a border with Bangladesh's Chapai-Nawabganj district, and the Mahadipur-Shona Masjid crossing has traditionally been a major route for goods entering Bangladesh from India. Indian onion exporters have expressed their frustration over the situation. They stockpiled onions based on verbal commitments from Bangladeshi importers and traders who are now refusing to take delivery. Exporters explain that this time of the year typically sees high demand for onions in Bangladesh. Anticipating this demand, various traders stockpiled substantial quantities. Some stored 50 trucks worth of onions, others 70 trucks, and some even more. These onions were sourced from Indore and Nasik in Maharashtra. The financial impact on exporters has been devastating. They are now forced to sell onions in local markets at prices ranging from 2 to 10 rupees per kilogram. Exporters note that not only will they fail to recover their investment in the onions themselves, but even the transportation costs of bringing onions from distant locations will not be covered. One exporter shared that just 2 months ago, when trade was normal, he was sending 30 to 35 trucks of onions to Bangladesh daily. The vacuum left by India's export ban has been quickly filled. Bangladesh, needing a steady supply, shifted its import allegiance and secured new sources, chiefly from China and Pakistan. These nations are now exporting at competitive, lower prices, effectively locking India out. Exporters warn that this move has severely damaged India's long-term standing in the international market, losing the trust of loyal buyers like Indonesia and Nepal as well. For context, India previously moved up to 2.8 million tons of onions annually to regional markets. That number has now plummeted to just 1.5 million tons in the last 3 years. The decline represents not just a temporary setback, but a fundamental shift in regional trade patterns that may prove difficult to reverse even after restrictions are lifted. The problem is set to escalate further. Pakistan has announced ambitious plans to dramatically increase its onion production to nearly 30 million tons by the 2025 to 2026 agricultural year, a move that could solidify their dominance in the regional market and present an even tougher competition landscape for India to navigate in the coming years. The West Bengal Exporter Coordination Committee has highlighted the severity of the crisis. Their representative stated that traders have invested heavily in exporting onions to Bangladesh, and with exports halted, they face unimaginable losses. Industry representatives have warned that if the border is not reopened soon, many exporters will face complete financial ruin. The Indian government is now facing a dilemma: how to support its struggling farmers while attempting to reclaim the crucial export markets it so quickly forfeited. The situation underscores the vulnerability of cross-border trade relationships and the significant impact that sudden policy changes and political tensions can have on businesses, livelihoods, and long-standing market dominance on both sides of the border.